Recently, I shared an overview of my 8 principles for effective data visuals in a webinar for the Smith Business School at Queen's University. I want to go a little more tactical and talk about the visuals, because often what we want to do is we want to use visuals to communicate that message to others. And like Matt, what I want to do is to go through some principles of effective data visuals using an example from the news media, because the news media increasingly communicates data, communicates numbers. And so this article is one that was published in the Globe and Mail last month, and it talks about how Canadian households are coping with debt loads. Specifically here, they're talking about interest payments. And interest payments, the way Statistics Canada looks at them, there are mortgage interest payments and there are non-mortgage interest payments. And when we go in and take a look at what's the key thing that they're trying to talk about is, in the third quarter, those interest payments were down 0.6%. And what contributed the most to that decline are lower non-mortgage interest. So the key message here that they want to communicate is, where did, first of all, that it went down, and where did that come down from? And so the first principle I want to really emphasize is it's very important to decide on your message. And this very much ties into what Matt was talking about in terms of the implication. Too often, people just put data out there and don't explain what it means. Executives get confused. They ask a lot of questions. If that is happening to you in your presentations, it may be because you have not decided on what that message is. And believe me, that is your job. The executive expects you to decide what that message is. It comes from your analysis, the context you have, your background with this data, the experience that you have. So the very first thing is to decide on the message. Now, this is the table from Statistics Canada that talks about the two types of interest, and I've used the red rectangle there to show you the specific two rows that are mortgage interest and non-mortgage interest. Yeah, thankfully the Globe and Mail didn't show this, but I show it to you to illustrate principle number 2, which is a table of data is almost never the best visual. We have all sat through too many presentations with tables and tables of numbers on the slides. And unfortunately, what happens too often is that the presenter puts a table on the slide and then says, oh, now if you subtract column 8 from column 7, please do not ask your audience to do math, because they won't. That's our jobs as professionals, is to do the math, to do the analysis. A table of data is very rarely a good choice for a visual. And as I said, the Globe and Mail did not choose to use that visual. Here is the visual they did choose to use. Now, they chose this as the visual to communicate the messages about, obviously, there's an increase and then there is a decrease. But I want to use this visual and point out a few things to you on this visual that will illustrate the next 3 principles. Principle number 3 is to use a headline for your visual and not a title. A headline is like a newspaper would write a headline, and it communicates what the key message is. Unfortunately, here they have just simply used a title, total interest paid by households. It does not communicate any of the message, and it's important, I believe, that the headline communicates that message. Now, yes, you typically put it in what is called the slide title box on PowerPoint, but I believe it should be a headline. It is very important for people who look at your deck later, and you and I both know that is happening more and more and more today, is when people look at the deck later on. By simply flipping through the deck, if you have really good headlines for your data visuals, they know exactly what it means. And here's a sort of secret tip here. It's also really helpful for you as the presenter. Because if you ever get concerned about, I'm not going to remember what I need to say about this visual, look at the headline. If the headline is a good message, you can communicate that message very clearly, very easily. And then when you're done, simply move on to your next slide. It makes it a lot easier for you to deliver the presentation. Principle 4 is to make sure you have selected the graph that best communicates the message you are trying to communicate. Now, the message here that they're talking about is a message of it increased and now it is starting to decrease. Well, that is a message of a trend. But unfortunately, columns don't communicate trends very well. It's very hard, especially with a stacked column. And when they chose the stacked column, they made it almost impossible to really truly see the trend in the non-mortgage interest. Those are the blue segments in our graph here, because they do not have a common baseline. It becomes very difficult to sort of go, okay, did it increase, did it decrease, or was that really the purple segment down below? For trends, a line is the correct graph choice, in my opinion. And then principle 5 is to put the explanatory text close to the data. Now here, the explanatory text is the legend. Legends are very, very rarely a good idea. There are much better options. And this comes from the research of Professor John Sweller of the University of New South Wales. And what his research has showed is that putting the explanatory text, in this case, what are the two data series being shown, put that close to the data, and understanding comprehension goes up. So I took the data that was provided by Statistics Canada, and here's how I created the data visuals to communicate this. Now, what we can see here is in the last few years, interest paid by Canadians has increased dramatically, much more dramatically from mortgage interest, which is on our left-hand side here, the purple line. You can see how steep that line is. But interest has now started to decline. And typically what we would normally think is that what goes up fast would come down fast. That's actually not the case. What we see when we take a look at our last quarter, the third quarter, is that most of the decrease was actually from the non-mortgage interest, the blue line. And the mortgage interest hasn't really started to come down nearly as much as the non-mortgage interest. So let's take a look and see how I address those last three principles that I talked about. So first, I created a message headline for the slide. Even if you don't understand the visual or don't have time to look at it, that message headline tells you exactly what I need you to understand. Then I used lines instead of the stacked columns because it's far easier to see a trend. You look at those two lines and it's very clear that the mortgage interest climbed far faster than the non-mortgage interest. And then I put the explanatory text, the labels as to what the purple and the blue lines are representing. I put that right into the graph, right above those lines. So it is not something you have to go back and forth to understand, but it's right there. Principle 6 is to make the visual clear. Now, line graphs, generally when you create them, typically they will have lines on top of each other. This can be hard to understand depending on the data. And in this case, it would be hard because the two would essentially overlap. And it would be difficult to sort of figure out, gee, what's really going on there? So what I did here is I created what I call a panel line graph. Panel line graph places the lines beside each other on the same axis. And so it's much easier to see those trends. And indeed, the mortgage interest just pops right out as that steep, steep line. And just in case you're wondering, everything I'm showing you today is all created in plain vanilla Excel and PowerPoint. I'm not using any add-ins, plugins, scripting, programming at all. So just know that the tools you already have, that you already use every day, those are the only tools I'm using. Principle 7, tell people the full story and then focus. So what I did is I split this into two parts. I showed the overall trend first so that we could see the mortgage interest grew much faster. Then what I did, because the end of that line was so difficult to see, is I zoomed in on the end of each of those lines so that you could see very clearly, oh, that blue non-mortgage interest line, yeah, that's dropped more than the mortgage interest line. And again, I used some techniques within PowerPoint to create this graph. And finally, principle number 8 is that if you have multiple messages, use multiple slides. I was very deliberate in breaking this down to 2 slides because I wanted to make sure that the 2 messages about the context being the overall first and the focus of the drop in the last quarter were separate, that I could talk about them separately. The rule I would suggest you use is always have only one message per slide because it makes it easier to understand. It makes it easier for you to present as well. I formatted the title between these 2 slides so that it looked like I was building just more words and more focus on that second slide. So again, here's the visual that the globe presented, the original stacked column visual. And here are the 2 slides that I created that I believe are an example of communicating a data visual more effectively. Now, if you're feeling a little discouraged by it, saying, hey, I'm not familiar with these principles, I was never taught any of this, please don't be discouraged, because this is not taught in school. It's not taught in high school, in university, in graduate, in professional designations. And everybody's just kind of doing their best from what they've seen from other folks. And so that's one of the reasons when Matt and I do our programs, we're trying to bring awareness to the ways that professionals can improve the way that they communicate data. And so what I did was, because I had a couple minutes in my time, I wanted to show you a bonus example. And this is from this morning Globe and Mail. So this morning, the Globe and Mail talked about in one of their articles, the growth of ETFs in Canada, the different types of ETFs, and they used a column graph. Again, the message here is about growth, the trend, not the individual numbers. And you can see that these are 5-year segments, not 1-year segments. So what I did though, is I looked at it again and I said, what are those principles? Go back. And this is the visual that I created. So now it's very easy to see that key message that Canadian listed active ETFs are going faster than the other 2 types. We see them, this case, putting the lines on top of each other made a lot of sense. And the labeling, I took it away from the legend and made it direct labels on the lines. So these are just some examples that you can use to think about how can I apply these 8 principles to the data visual that I create and the presentations that I deliver to executives. If you're interested in learning more about the programs I do for the Smith School or my customized in-house programs, see the links in the description below.